All right, and resources. Let's talk about industry resources.
Well, I think we're, again, right in front of us. You know, thanks to the IMA for hosting these kind of sessions, and thanks for you people attending these things. It's a great sharing of, you know, we learn from you, you learn from us, those kinds of things. You know, the web is a great resource to go to. Another nugget, there's something called the Forum for Northwestern. Has a learning center wrapped around incentives. So that go to incentivecentral.org. I mean, there's more information on the incentive business out there today than ever before.
Yeah, the IMA, by the way, is an acronym for the Incentive Marketing Association, and you can check them out at incentivemarketing.org. And they're a membership organization who's looking to drive membership of promotional product distributors into their constituency. I sit on the board of trustees for the Incentive Research Foundation, and we provide unbelievable research that you can be using. And I think it's really cool stuff because they don't have to be your stories to sell the point. You can use someone else's stories and somebody else's research to help provide evidence to your customers. I also sit on the Recognition Council. It's a strategic industry group for the Incentive Marketing Association, and we produce white papers that are available free at what's the website?
RecognitionCouncil.org.
RecognitionCouncil.org. And that's another place you can go out there and get excellent white papers. They are done by industry professionals that have volunteered and are giving it out as free information to help spread the word about incentive and recognition. And then, of course, you know, as I mentioned earlier, align yourself with a vendor that is going to collaborate with you and willing to share and pass some of their insights.
Go ahead, Mark. Just go ahead and close us up. You had some closing remarks, and help us about just the incentives and what are the bare minimum that they need to know.
Well, let me leave you with this note. If you go into a customer and you try to sell them a promotional product, you are virtually unlikely to walk out with an incentive or recognition sale. However, if you go in there and you try to sell them an incentive or recognition program, it's virtually impossible not to walk out with a couple of promotional product sales. So, you know, to Linda's point about the commoditization of this industry, take that out of the mix. I don't know if I need to elaborate more on that, but that's how I would sum that up. So why don't we just so at this point anybody have any questions, or does anybody want to share what their golden nugget was that they heard today? Yeah, go ahead.
How did you adjust your business as a promotional product distributor in terms of, as you said, the industry is commoditizing, so you move towards the incentive business where you sell items where you don't have very large margins, because if you sell electronics, something like that, you have low margins as you are having with the commoditized promotion items. So how did you adjust your business?
Okay, good. I think the question is that how did I adjust my business to get into incentives, or am I understanding the question?
When your products become commodities, you have to cut your margins, and that happens in the promotional business, you know, because most of the products are becoming commodities with the influence of the internet, you know.
Yes.
Every customer can compare prices and they will not overpay anymore, you know.
Okay.
So if you said you moved towards the incentive business, where mostly you will sell items as electronics, things like that. Not in the States?
I sell promotional products, and I don't really go off my margins. What I've done differently, perhaps, than maybe people who only sell promotional products and who sell products as a commodity, is I work with people as a consultant. I go in and I learn about their business, and I make suggestions of not only product, but I look at their whole business so that I see opportunities for product, I see opportunities for incentive programs right away. I work with them as a partner. And then people don't argue with me about pricing on a 10-cent pen, because it's 10 cents. I've spent 2 hours with them. I've worked with them for hours and given them, you know, lots of ideas, not just on the product, but on the whole thing for their company. So they're not treating me as a commodity person because I've not treated myself that way.
Even if they end up buying a commodity?
They end up buying product, but they don't pay for they pay for full price for the product because I am of value to them. So how I treat it is my value is in is really in my questioning, understanding what they're trying to do, and help them get what they need. So it doesn't come down. I sell a lot of product, but I sell it at full price.
And how does the technology influences your business in terms of, did you have to make adjustments in your technology? How is the web, what role plays the internet in your business right now? The internet for products, it does come up. I can't say that it doesn't. The closer I can work with the customer as a consultant, the more secure my relationship with them is. And so, again, to generalize for everyone, and I know there's other questions, but basically, just present yourself as a consultant. Don't go in saying, here's, you want $1 pen, let me show you these $6 pens. You go in there with questions and ideas and trying to understand what they're trying to accomplish. Don't lead with an item. Start with conversation.
Sure, you had a question?
Yes, my name is Michael Henry with Promotional, and I have a question regarding your, the word program is huge, right? And most clients, when you walk in the door, you present a concept that I would like to present you a safety program, a promotional program. This thing comes along with, in my mind, full-on 2 weeks of me writing out a proposal on spec and presenting what would end up happening. You understand what I'm saying? I'm doing a lot of work to get a incentive program implemented in this company.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's a friend or somebody I'm just meeting as a cold call. How do you do it? Do you have a one-sheeter? Do you go out and put 3 or 4 promotional products in and then tie it all together with the concept of a safety program? Or do you spend 2-3 weeks working on this thing and come back with a second meeting?
Great question.
I do both. If you can do some kind of turnkey thing that you might think would work. I mean, basically, Certif-A-Gift has all these gifts together. So, I mean, the program, once you start it, after you have the first one, you kind of have a mental template, I can say to you like that. So it might start off as like being this big thing, but there are some things that you'll want to start out with. Let's say you're going to create a safety program for someone. The questions that I think myself is, all right, how am I going to promote the program? So I have to look at who are the people in that program. So you'll want, probably have a kickoff event. You want to hand out some stuff there. And you want to probably get involved with supervisors. So you want to get them as kind of team leaders. So you get gifts there. And then while the program's going out, you want to have little touch points that hey, the program's going on, don't forget the program's going on. So you have like little quarterly awards depending on people's budgets. And then you have a Certif-A-Gift that you will be using, or a company like Certif-A-Gift that you'd be using gifts for, that people are accumulating points perhaps for maybe safe work behaviors. And so it's only sounds big, but once you chunk it down, it's not that mystical. And in a time like today, it's really hard to probably wrap your head around it. But if you have an opportunity, when you have that solid opportunity, when it becomes real to you, then call someone like Certificate up who will walk alongside of you and who will step you through it.
I'd also say that you're not really starting from, you shouldn't go out there, create a concept, and here, go and implement this. This is a collaborative effort with your customer. And you've identified an issue, something that they're looking to change. They're looking to improve something, they're looking to reduce something, and you're talking to them in kind of a consultative fashion and you're guiding them along, and ultimately